Hi there, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Rewatch Along Project. This is podcasting the way it used to be and the way you like it. This show is a production of the Something Else Podcasting Network, and it is episode number 111 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling from March 12th, 1994, taped February 7th, 1994, from the Jellicoe High School in Jellicoe, Tennessee. My name is Arya, and with me, as always, is Trae. And Trae, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna rock America.
Break down the walls of Jellicoe.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you.
Do you think Jellicoe named themselves that after Chris Jericho debuted in wrestling? Because I don't know
Well,
about
I
you,
can only assume.
yeah, I'd never heard of Jellicoe, Tennessee until after Chris Jericho became a wrestler.
That's
And
true.
it's a
That's
South,
true.
and it and
Yeah.
it's the South, so that's why I assume they call it Jellicoe because they're stupid.
Excuse me,
Not everyone from the South is stupid.
but you assume that anyone from the South is stupid.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, you just keep on assuming that. I like to keep people guessing.
Uh so yesterday or the Tuesday show, so people listening to this, we spent a good 25 minutes talking about the merits of Prince Albert. What's the
Indeed,
plan
you.
for today? We're going to talk about Steve Blackman.
Oh, I just saw like he did an interview, and I
Yes,
scrolled past
with
it, but I need to go back and find it.
Chris Van Vliet.
Okay, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. So you remember you brought it up yesterday that JR would always bring up that Albert's hat size was 8 3/8.
Yes.
Um, so as I was looking through what hats I own today, as I
Oh God.
realized that I am not sure if the roof is going to be open on Saturday or not.
Hmm.
So I thought I might should have a hat. And so I just to see I measured my head and I converted it to hat size, and my head is about 8 3/8.
How did it feel that the same size hat as Albert?
He probably can afford nicer hats than I can.
You would think so. You know.
Yeah.
So there was a news story today that TNA is trying to shop themselves out around for a TV deal to try to basically go live 52 weeks a year, and they think they can do it for about $10 million. Do you think there's a network out there that'll bite?
Okay, let me think here. That
I have to.
relatively is not that relatively is not very much, right? Compared to what like
No,
AEW and WWE are getting for rights fees.
no, because
But who
I
who
mean,
wants who wants
WWE's getting a
wrestling that doesn't
billion
have it?
dollars. Yeah, that's a thing. I was also thinking, do you think it's possible that WWE leans on USA or the CW to put them on?
I don't think WWE will go that far to help another company, but it I don't know. I guess it would. I can't say that it wouldn't be a good thing for the business if they were able to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, by the sounds of it, like, and I'm sure it's not going to cost them exactly $10 million to produce 52 live weeks of Impact a year, But it does sound like that's the primary thing that'll come out of it if it does happen. It's not like, oh,
Yeah.
they're going to get $10 million, and so they're going to be able to bid for higher price talent.
Look, I am a strong advocate of wrestling works better when people can have a run in a territory and leave and go somewhere else. And I think that there is still a need for that in modern wrestling. But for that to be possible, there have to be multiple viable companies. So I am in favor of anything that helps make that a reality.
Yeah. And I mean, TNA, like, they're not perfect, they never will be, but they're certainly so much better now than they were in 2008, 2009 with Shitstain writing it.
Yeah, and they've endured and they've carved out a place in wrestling history. Like it's crazy. Imagine telling yourself in 2003, like when these pay-per-views that you're watching are happening. Imagine telling yourself that that the company TNA would still exist in 2025, considering that WCW existed for about 13 years and ECW for about 8 years.
And it outlived Ring of Honor, a company
Yeah.
with a much more um a, a much
Okay,
happier fan base, we'll say.
that that is Sinclair. Okay, I don't want to say it's Sinclair's fault because they did really good with the pandemic and paying
Yeah.
everybody. And that was good, but then that convinced them that they needed to get out of it. And okay, I understand. But the problem is the reason that AEW exists is that there was a very obvious place in the market for a viable number two promotion, and Ring of Honor was positioned to be that, and Sinclair chose not to do that, and that sealed Ring of Honor's fate.
Now I do question though, because they had a little bit of popularity boom when they had the Young Bucks and Cody and all that. How long do you think that could have lasted? Because I mean, we can see from AEW, no matter if you love them, hate them, whatever, the Young Bucks of 2025 are not the Young Bucks of 2018.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be now either. Nobody's gonna if anybody is the same act as they were 7 years ago, like what the fuck are
Not,
you doing? And I know
not
there are
even
a
say,
lot of people that are the same act that don't update their act at all. But
I'm
like,
not
what's
saying
the
the same
point?
act, I'm saying the same level of popularity. Like, and maybe it's just a mainstream versus a cult thing because, even with Ring of Honor and New Japan, it was still a cult thing to be, into the Young Bucks and buying their Hot
Okay,
Topic merchandise and all that. And
but
now it's very mainstream. I can't tell you the last time I saw somebody wearing a Young Bucks shirt outside of a wrestling show, and I knew quite a few people in my town that would buy those shirts from Hot Topic.
okay, so what's the point? That would have lasted longer with Ring of Honor or wouldn't have lasted longer? What's the
No,
point you're
just
making?
my question is, what do you think would have happened had there never been an AEW and they stayed with Ring of Honor? Do you think they could have kept that momentum going, or do you think it was bound to fizzle out anyway?
Okay,
And it's not,
that
and this again,
depends.
this isn't an anti-Young Bucks commentary. This is just generally speaking, you know.
That depends on if Ring of Honor decides they actually want to do something or not. If they don't, those guys all end up going to WWE. The Bucks and Omega and probably Paige and some of their other friends. They don't stay in Ring of Honor if Ring of Honor stayed what it was.
Mm, I mean, I don't think I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Omega would have gone to WWE if there wasn't an AEW. I think he would have just stayed with New Japan and gone from there.
You know, he has certainly said that he sees the appeal of doing that, and I think he would have wanted to try it eventually, just as an artist.
I am not sad that the Briscoes never went to WWE. I'm sad for
Oh,
the
me neither.
reason why, but they would
Yeah,
not have been the Briscoes.
yeah,
And, you know, they would have been a skinnier version of Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch.
yeah. I don't know that. Like, I don't know what you do with them in WWE. They absolutely would not have been the Briscoes. You're right. I prefer the Briscoes as the Briscoes.
Yeah. Like honestly, you get them in WWE, even if it was in NXT. All it took was for one shareholder to complain that their kid came across the Briscoes YouTube promos where they would go off on
Yeah,
whatever, and it was done.
yeah. I was gonna say because without those promos on the farm, what are the Briscoes? They were still a great tag team, but like you don't you don't become one of the greatest tag teams of all time purely through good work. You have to connect, and that's those promos and the farm and the family.
Yeah. Papa Briscoe would not have been on Raw, teaming against the world's greatest tag team and Shane Hagedorn.
Do you know though? You know where I think the Briscoes would have done very well?
Where?
Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Indeed, they would have. I think in like a perfect world, which obviously could never have existed for a number of reasons, the Briscoes and the Gangstas, that would have been a
Oh,
fucking insane feud.
holy shit! I never even thought of that. That would have been insane. That would have been an ECW thing. They would have been the Briscoes would have been back and forth between like Smoky Mountain and ECW and
That's funny. It's like I guess Chris Candido did it for a little bit, but I think the only person who ever truly went back and forth between Smoky Mountain and ECW at the same time was Cactus Jack.
yeah, and he was he was a much higher level star.
So you're telling me that Mick Foley in late 1994 was a bigger star than Chris Candido in 1993?
Just a little bit, with all due respect to Chris Candido.
Yeah. So Smoky Mountain Wrestling this week. Before I watched the show, all I knew about the show was that you texted me saying you went through puberty again. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
So I knew there'd be something titillating happening this week,
Oh, was it?
but yes. Let's go to the intro first with Bob Caudle and basketball playing Dutch Mantel.
Welcome to another exciting action-packed hour of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Professional wrestling the way it used to be and the way you like it. Hi, wrestling fans. I'm Bob Caudle along with Dr. Dirty Dutch Mantel, and we got a great, exciting hour for all you wrestling fans this week. We're in the middle of either the Rock and Roll Express or the Heavenly Bodies because the loser of the cage match at the Bluegrass Brawl in Pikeville, Kentucky on April 1st is going to be leaving. He'll leave Smoky Mountain Wrestling for good. Now, we'll find out more about that a little later. A main event today, the Rock and Roll against Well Dunn. That should be a great match, Dutch. We'll take another video look at the Thrill Seekers. And what about our Beat the Champ?
Well, we got some insanity going on our Beat the Champ contest. The Hornet is still the champion. This week, he gets another test. So his opponent this week will be none other than Killer Kyle will face the Hornet today. Maybe it will end today. Maybe not.
Well,
We've got insanity with it anyway.
No way last week against the Dirty White Boy. No way against Killer Kyle. That we'll find out. Right now, let's go to the ring.
Well, we found out the answer to what's going to happen to the Beat the Champ because remember last week Jimmy Del Rey ripped up the Beat the Champ hat, but Dutch just got another hat.
Clever. Who'd have thought?
I'm gobsmacked that that would have happened. Um, so today's main event, the Rock and Roll Express versus the team of Well Done. Um, I, we'll get to it, but I thought that was a fun little main event match that they had.
Hey, yeah, that was a treat. Well done in rock and roll.
Yeah. Um, and so the Beat the Champ this week, the Hornet versus Killer Kyle. Can the Hornet possibly retain the title yet again?
Uh, yeah, I like his chances.
Yes,
Look,
yes.
last week he had to face the Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Champion, and he survived. So,
He
don't doubt the
he
Hornet.
he did more than survive. He won.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah. Can't really explain why he won, but he won.
I mean, he did do a job for the Dirty White Girl, kind of.
Not the kind of job you'd like to do for the dirty white girl, but a job nonetheless.
Oh, that's inappropriate.
Yes, it is very inappropriate. We've said worse stuff while your wife was in the house than we did now when your wife is, how far is New Orleans? 200 miles
About
away?
5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh. I should not laugh. But you told the story to me before the show about how your wife's at this conference in New Orleans. It's full of blind people and the elevator doesn't work.
Yes,
There's just
because there's always got to be something with the fucking elevators. Yeah. That's
it made me giggle a little bit.
well, my
So
wife said luckily she's only on the eighth floor. So she didn't have to go up 40 flights of stairs.
that's good. So I was just trying to picture blind people trying to climb the steps in general, especially in a
Blind
strange
people can
hotel.
climb steps, Arya. What the fuck?
But it's like you're in a strange hotel that in theory they haven't been to before. So it's like, hey, you get up high enough, you're gonna lose count of what floor you're on.
Yeah, I would think you almost certainly would in one with that. But yeah, that's a. I was told that though they were hand cranking the elevators, so the elevators are in service, kind of.
I'm picturing Harriet Winslow operating the elevator.
Oh, that was
Perfect
has the
Strangers,
spinoff
was it?
ever has the spinoff like ever gone off like more off the rails? Because like she was like a tertiary character in Family Matters.
Honestly, it's like I, I'm sorry. If it wasn't for Urkel, that show would have been canceled after 2 seasons.
Okay,
Har
my family watched the TGIF lineup every Friday night. And you know what we
yes.
called that show? We never said Family Matters. We said Urkel's on.
That sounds like something my grandmother would have said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love TGIF, Boy Meets World,
Yeah.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
Yeah.
Clueless, the TV show,
Yeah.
hanging hanging with Mr.
Hanging with Mr.
Cooper.
Cooper. Yes.
I even liked it in the mid 2000s when they had Eight Simple Rules and what was that show with Kelly Ripa? That one, and like I think there was a show called Complete Savages. Like, sorry, not sorry. It was fun watching sitcoms on a Friday night.
Yeah, no, I loved it in the 90s. That was destination viewing for us that
Yeah,
we didn't do a whole lot as a family, so that was one of the things we did.
yep. Outside of watching a crap ton of wrestling, Wednesday nights was Sister Sister and Smart Guy, and Friday nights was Family Matters and Boy Meets World.
Oh, I like Smart Guy.
By the way, Tia and Tamara still fucking hot. By the way,
Oh, yes, beautiful young woman.
yes, even though, well, I can't say they're not young. They're as old as we are. So,
Still?
uh,
Dadgum.
yeah. Shockingly, they didn't suddenly get older than us.
How about that?
Uh, it's weird how that shit works. El Hijo del Santo versus Bobby Blaze. Bob and Dutch spend the entire match talking about the Rock and Roll Express Heavenly Bodies Loser Leaves Town match on April 1st at the Bluegrass Brawl. The Rock and Roll Express will be on Down and Dirty today, and Blaze won with a Northern Lights suplex.
I wrote Dutch
Great.
and Bob are talking about the tag division and making it sound way more happening than it is.
I don't know. They named like 10 teams. I'm like, where the hell are half these teams?
Like we haven't seen the Moondogs in like a couple of
Or
months now.
or the
Or the Bruise
Heresies.
Brothers, yeah. Or the Bruise Brothers.
Yeah,
Maybe.
spoiler,
Hey,
spoiler, they're both gone. So
do you think that Heavy D and Big Ron got a haircut and got a real job?
oh, I'm sure they did. They became creative control at one point.
Yeah.
Actually, first they got a haircut and joined a biker gang, and then they joined corporate.
The Harrises of skinheads, I can't imagine such a thing.
Okay. So from here, let's go to a Tracy Smothers promo with Bob Caudle, his good friend.
All right, fans, and with me right now, here's Tracy Smothers. Tracy, Golden Week 94, ladder match. I tell you got to have a guy in the ring, but you got to have him in such condition that he can't keep you from climbing a ladder. That's got to be a tough one.
Exactly right. You know something, Candido? If you're back there listening, man, you know the last few weeks we've had a lot of money floating around, and we've had other people fighting our battles. Ladder match. The ladder's going to be on the outside of the ring. All you got to do is put that ladder in the middle of the ring, climb up it. Hey, man, all the stuff you've done to me, all the frustration you've caused, you're the cheatingest guy I've ever been in the ring with. I'm going to do my dead level best to scale that ladder like a cat. And if I can get that $2,500, I'm going to throw it out to all these good people right here.
Hey, I tell you, they're
If I can get
for
it.
you, ain't no doubt about that.
Shot. I'll give it my best shot. That's all I can do.
All right, fans, and I'm sure you will. You don't want to miss that one. The ladder match. Tracy Smothers, Chris Candido. We'll be back. We'll have more right after this.
So if Tracy was just happy enough to give away $2,500 of what I thought was the office's money, but we find out later it's Chris Candido's money, wasn't he giving away his own money?
Something about this tells me that Tracy isn't winning the money.
Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I mean, especially since the gate is about $8,000, I'm thinking they're not going to give away $2,500.
I think that's a safe bet.
I wonder if the check is made out to kayfabe.
Classic.
Yes. So apparently, from what I've read, and I will be shocked to hear this, Trae, just shocked. But those Chris Candido, Tracy Smothers ladder matches were pretty good.
The hell you say?
I know, right? But that's what the rumor is.
Are any of those on tape?
Maybe. I have the impression that at least one airs on the television show.
Okay.
So we'll see, I guess. All right. From here we get the replay of the white girl slapping El Hornet from last week. And then we go to a promo with the Dirty White Boy and Dirty White Girl. And I'll tell you what, I'm starting to question your sanity, Trae. But let's go to the promo first.
Right now, the Dirty White Girl, Dirty White Boy, I tell you one thing. Last week was proof positive to me that her training has really been paying off.
The Golden Week is coming up. It's finally here. This is what we've been waiting on. A mixed tag match. Now, you just seen last week exactly what this little lady right here is capable of. She's got a meaner right hook than Mike Tyson. So, Primetime Brownlee, what you need to do is you better take out a real good insurance policy for that little old turkey neck chicken leg thing running around with you, because this gal right here is coming for her head. And then, big boy, I may just take your head off, regardless whether you like it or not. The bottom line is the Dirty White Boy and Dirty White Girl are going to show everybody how we got the name. And we got the name by beating people up. And I'm fixing to show you both right now how I really got the name.
All right. And while we watch the Dirty White Boy, hey, Dirty White Girl, how about staying here with us and doing a little commentating with us in a little color,
let's
okay?
go.
All right, sounds great. Let's go to the ring.
I think Caudle's drunk.
Drunk Bob Caudle? Well, what an
Yes.
exciting debut! What an addition to the team.
Oh, oh Lord. Dirty White Boy says a mixed tag match is what they've been waiting for. And I thought about back when WWE did Mixed Match Challenge, and Michael Cole, the man who has been the lead announcer for like 20 WrestleManias, said with a straight face that he's never been more excited for anything than he has for Mixed Match Challenge.
I, um, I don't have the patience to talk about Michael Cole right now.
Um, White Boy said that he and White Girl got their names by beating people up. And then Bob Caudle, I guess he's auditioning people to replace Dutch. You must know that Dutch is putting in his notice and leaving because he's auditioning people for the role of color commentator. And so he invites White Girl to do commentary for the next match. And
Yeah,
I guess you're not in love with the White Girl because she's an eloquent speaker.
look, she just gets the yips about public speaking is all. By the way, so Dutch gets up to give the dirty white girl his chair, and he says, chauvinism is not dead. And he meant chivalry, but the way he said it was made it funnier.
Um, so before we continue on, Jay and I are going to Vermont this weekend, which is one of many
Oh,
reasons why I'm not going to y'all in.
yeah.
And so he's telling you about the stuff that, I do and do not need to bring. He mentions bringing a bathing suit because, he may go to the beach or whatever. And then he says, you don't have to pack bath towels and poop towels. They have all that stuff.
I'm sorry?
I said, no poop towels. Got it. He's like, cool. Like, oh, so I could bring a poop towel? Then he
Uh,
then he threatened to break up with me if I bring a poop towel.
uh,
Oh, if he listens to this show, he's gonna kill me. Oh Lord.
oh, I do have the official Cult to Cornet burger towel in my car.
Oh God. How is the burger towel?
It's like I bought it as a goof because I had never thought of it till you remember the thing that they were just talking about whatever and Cornette
Yep.
mentioned his burger towel and co-host was like, wait, what? And Cornette was like, well, yeah, you gotta have your burger towel to put over you while you're driving so it doesn't make and like I've been eating burgers in the car 20 fucking years. I never thought of this. So I bought it as a gag, but then I legitimately used them.
I just love that you said you called Brian last co-host. We're
Yes, I
gonna get a
did.
letter from we're gonna get a letter from Stephen P. New, aren't we?
Mr. Co-host, I guess.
Mr. Co-host, if you will.
You think when Stephen P. New sends legal letters that when you open them you hear the world class opening theme?
If you don't, what the hell's the point of sending a legal letter? Stephen P.
Seriously.
New, Stephen P. New, Stephen P. New, Stephen P. New, Stephen P. New. It's like it's permanently ruined the world class theme for me because it's like every week when I play that, I cannot not hear call Stephen P. New.
I've I've finally gotten used to it, I think, because it doesn't happen to me anymore.
All right. Well, White Boy went to the ring to wrestle Mid-South legend Pat Rose. Um, I wrote there's a reason that when Dutch leaves, they don't replace him with the dirty white girl.
Hey,
There were
look, this was Dutch's fault, okay? She was doing fine until he asked her the stupidest of questions, and from that point she just got flustered.
wait,
So
wait, wait, wait. She was
No wonder Dutch is about to leave.
she was doing fine. She
She
like
was doing fine.
there were long periods of silence.
And that was
It's like
fine. Sometimes it's
I'm
better when
wait
she's silent.
I was waiting for Howard Finkel to chime in and tell us about the next WWF house show in Boston. Oh, Lord. Then when she wasn't being silent, she told a story about how when Tammy was born, instead of slapping her butt, the doctor slapped her mom.
Oh.
Oh, Lord. So Tammy eventually was apparently just as big a fan of this commentary as I was. She came to the announce position to scream at White Girl. Primetime Brian Lee grabbed White Girl, and Tammy opened up her blouse, revealing her bra. And it's like the least sexual thing we've ever seen. But because it's, 1994 Smoky Mountain, it's like, man, oh man, she's wearing a bra.
Oh, yeah, that was racy. I might have rewound that a few times just for professional,
So
analysis reasons.
instead of just screenshotting it, so you just had the damn, video or the picture of it. Huddle, by the way, was an actual gentleman here. He took off his jacket and offered it to the White Girl, and White Girl turned it down.
Bob Caudle, I completely believe he's an absolute gentleman.
And lost in the hubbubaloo, Pat Rose won by countout.
Is that okay? That's what we assume happened. We never got an official word. We just heard a bell.
Well, White Boy came out to assist White Girl in buttoning her shirt back up. And as they stormed to the back, you could see in the corner of the screen, Brian Hildebrand raised Pat Rose's arm.
Oh, cool. By the way, I told you, but I want the listener to know, last weekend, I did in fact do Dirty White Boy by Foreigner at karaoke and fucking rocked out.
Did you get a standing ovation?
Yeah.
Jay's response to me telling him I'm telling the story, wonderful. do you think I should start talking about Paul Orndorff? Maybe I'll send him
that was.
Maybe
you
I'll
should
send
send him the theme.
The Tim Horner promo.
Oh, don't send your boyfriend a Tim Horner promo. That's what what? Okay, I was just listening. I was listening to a podcast and they had clips from the Brett or not the Brett, the Shawn and Davey Boy feud from '96, and what did Clarence Mason say? Attempted alienation of affection. You would be alienating your own boyfriend's affection for you if you sent him a Tim Horner promo.
White Lightning. White Lightning is coming back. Kind of. But he's actually.
Is it the gimmick?
Yeah. Hendo the Samurai. I know you've missed me singing Thunder Rolls and the Lightning Strikes.
Yeah, ever so much.
Yes. So, any other thoughts on Dirty White Girl's bra? Do you think it would have gone well with Miss Elizabeth's panties from SummerSlam '92? Or not SummerSlam '92, SummerSlam '88.
What color were they? I don't even remember. Weren't they like orange or something?
Red.
Red. Okay, there we go.
She took off her dress. And then Andre the Giant looked like he'd never seen a woman without a skirt on before. Oh, everyone just stops, and all right. So
that was that made some young boys go through puberty too.
All right, let's go to a promo with our double champion, Chris Candido.
With me right now, Chris Candido, and I tell you, we had Tracy Smothers out earlier about the ladder match. I tell you, he seems real pleased about that. He's ready for the ladder match.
Of course he seems pleased, because it's my money that he's trying to get. It's not his money he's putting up there. It's mine. I already got it. I don't need this match. He said he's going to climb that ladder like a cat burglar. He's a second story man, the most famous burglar in the history of Pennsylvania, Vito Marinara. You want to call him Tracy, whatever. I do not need this match. This ladder match, Golden Week 94, it's my money. I do not need the match. Well, Tracy Smothers, you want it? That's fine. You get that ladder, you put it up there, you scale up and try and get that money. I'll knock it out from underneath you and knock you into the 15th row. You thought I was a joke. Everybody else thought I was a joke. Well, I have proved to everybody that I'm not. Golden Week 94, the ladder match, the money is mine.
All right, fans, right there, you heard it from Chris Candido. Golden Week 94, the ladder match, don't miss it.
We may be missing the ladder match.
Oh no.
Yep, I'm sorry. They didn't release a 7-disc box set of the best of Golden Week 94.
I would have absolutely I would buy that box set. I'd buy it today.
Well, you know what to do when we get that time machine going. Go back in time and bring your cell phone to videotape the entire show each night.
Honestly, if I ever do get a time machine, the one thing that I will do is I will go back to like the 50s or 60s and tell every wrestling promoter, save the TV tapes. You'll fund your retirement. Save the TV tapes.
So Candido said it's his $2,500. So, did Smoky Mountain steal Candido's $2,500 check or something?
I bet it was the office's money, but it was like Pam signed it, check to Candido by mistake.
That makes sense because it's Pam
Yeah.
and everything. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows though? Because Smoky Mountain only lasts a year without Pam, so maybe she was the glue holding the company together.
You know, there was like no real reason for Pam to be in that Thrill Seekers press conference thing. They could have not put her in that and use her as one of the hot girls instead, because she's actually better looking than at least one of them.
Um, I mean, it's more they just needed people who look nice in nice clothing. And for some reason, Horner was there too. Um, Speaking of the rats the Thrill Seekers banged, let's go to the longest 1-minute Chris Jericho promo in his life. Go to Jericho right now.
A lot of people have been asking me and asking Lance, why did you start teaming together? How did you two guys become the Thrill Seekers? Well, even when we were training in Calgary, Alberta at the Hart Brothers camp, I saw that Lance would always take that extra little jump farther than the rest of the class. He would always take that extra step to be the fastest one, to be the best one. And I know by tagging with him that I can be my best, and it always pushes me to go the extra mile. And I know Lance Storm feels the same way. Because the Thrill Seekers are all about being the best that you can be and taking the extra step further. What does it take to be a Thrill Seeker? To be part of the #1 tag team around in the world today? Well, I'll tell you what it takes. It takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of training, and it takes a lot of putting everything you have into the sport that you love. I think I'm the only guy I know that's been shot down in flames by chicks in maybe 10 countries. But that doesn't matter to me anymore, because all that matters is getting into the professional wrestling ring and showing both what myself and what Lance Storm can do in that ring, and to show everybody that the Thrill Seekers are something new, something exciting, and something different. And if that means getting shot down by chicks everywhere, then so be it. But I guarantee something, when we're in the ring, everybody will be paying attention.
I guess he brought it full circle by mentioning being turned down by chicks earlier in the promo. But like him saying that they want to show everyone the Thrill Seekers are something new, even if they get turned down by chicks.
These are the lamest fucking baby faces. Why
Well,
are they getting shot down by chicks?
Lance Storm isn't even talking. That's like I love Lance and everything, but it's like he's holding the microphone like he's interviewing Jericho because he's got to do something in this damn video.
Yeah.
And then I was disappointed, Trae. I was really fucking disappointed. They aired the same Thrill Seekers video as the first week.
They sure did. Wasn't that sad?
But there was one exception, though. Did you notice at the very end when it said the Thrill Seekers will rock America, they used different font?
You know, I thought there was something weird about that. I didn't look at it long enough to figure out what it was, but I thought it looked different.
Yeah. And I guess different can be good. But yeah, this is the first video, the one where Jericho eats the treats for the bear. And I still wonder how many takes he had to take before Jericho caught one in his mouth.
It's the way that these guys are being positioned as like the hot new baby faces, but they're so fucking lame. Like, it's another thing that just lends to the kind of overall dated feel of this company.
And then the funny thing is, it's like they're not here to replace the Rock and Roll Express, but in theory, they're here to be a younger, more exciting version of the Rock and Roll Express. And their video and their interview is immediately followed by video from 2 weeks ago, a bloodied Ricky Morton in the locker room cutting a promo, which leads into Down and Dirty with Dutch. Let's go to that, and I guarantee you during the next 3 minutes, at no point will Ricky Morton say that they got turned down by chicks.
And I will tell you what, we want one thing, and one thing only. That is a match with the Heavenly Bodies, that one of us has got to go. And I tell you what, if we have to leave, we will do it. If we lose this match, I will sit down in the middle of the ring, take my boots off, and throw them out to the crowd, because I don't want to wear them no more. I don't even want to wrestle no more, because it's going to come to an end, Jimmy Cornette. Either you or the Rock and Roll Express and the Heavenly Bodies, we don't care, baby. One of us has got to go, and it damn sure ain't going to be us.
Okay, joining me here on Down and Dirty with Dutch, special guests, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Ricky, I'm going to direct this question to you. 10 years of frustration, 10 years of Jimmy Cornette being in your face almost every night and every move. You couldn't go anywhere unless you faced him. This is your big chance to rid yourself of the monkey on your back for 10 years and get Jim Cornette and his team off your back. Your comments, please.
Well, that's right, Dutch. But first of all, I want to start out by saying, ever since Robert and I reunited right here at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, every major wrestling organization in the world has called us, wanting us to come to wrestle for them. But we said no. We wanted to stay right here at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, where all the fans stood behind us through some lot of thick and bad situations. But you see, the only place that we got to go now is crazy. You see, Jimmy Cornette is the kind of guy that likes to humiliate people. He was the kind of guy that was born with a golden spoon in his mouth. He don't know what it's like to get out and work 8 to 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day and worry about how putting food on the table. He's the kind of guy that likes to embarrass people. But you see, Dutch, this is for the last time. He humiliated Robert's mother. He humiliated my father and us on many different times. But you see, Dutch, it's all got to come to an end. And that's why we asked for this match right here. In a cage, loser leave town.
Not just one.
That's right. Not just one of us is going to leave, because we thought we made that mistake. We made a mistake like that one time before, Dutch. We had a loser leave town for only the loser of the fall had to leave. That was Stan Lane. We thought we got rid of them, but we didn't. But you see, Jimmy, in this cage match, loser leave town. If we're not man enough,
The whole team, right?
if we're not man enough to beat the Heavenly Bodies, I would sit down in the middle of the ring. I would take my boots off, because we reunited right here at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and we will end it. Because if we don't beat the Heavenly Bodies, there will be no more Rock and Roll Express, because it's loser leave town, and if we don't win, there will be no more Rock and Roll Express. Thank you, Doug.
Okay, fans, there you heard it. Some strong words and some serious words from Ricky Morton. Don't go away. Beat the Champ up next.
All right. So I'll be honest, I kind of would have rather had them keep the bloody backstage promo and say that that was Down and Dirty with Dutch, even though Dutch wasn't there. But because I mean, essentially he said the same thing, just without being covered in blood the second time.
Yeah, I agree. But very strong promo work from Ricky this week. Ricky Morton was cooler than Chris Jericho on this particular week.
You're fucking kidding me, right? You're saying that
No.
Ricky Morton, with 16 years of experience at this point and being part of this tag team for well over a decade at this point, he's better than Chris Jericho in the third year of his career.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Uh, Man, oh man, Maddie, I think you may be onto something there.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess the new stip to this, and I don't want to say it's an unofficial stip because he's going to keep mentioning it, but if the Rock and Roll Express lose, not only will they never wrestle in Smoky Mountain again, Ricky Morton will never wrestle again, period. And in a way, like even though it's obvious who's going to win this, in a way it does get in the back of your head going, well, like I just said, they've been around for well over a decade. They've been wrestling since the late 70s. It is certainly believable that Ricky Morton may be ready to call it a day.
You
I
say here in 2025.
I know that as somebody who watched Ricky Morton wrestle twice in one weekend a few months ago, but and in theory it does make sense.
Yeah.
Um, and at this point though, it's like win or lose, both teams needed to be off TV for a while because like they've both been here for way too long at this point. And there's not enough teams in Smoky Mountain to have like, okay, well, they're feuding for 2 years, but like they're doing some other stuff in between. And it's like they kind of tried with the Heavenly Bodies and the Armstrongs and the Rock and Rolls and the Heresies, but it's like it still wasn't really it because it was still the overarching feud were these two. Um, by the way, Ricky Morton was only 37 years old as I'm sitting here talking
Well,
about how he might be retiring, or it's believable to think he might retire at this point.
Ricky Morton at 37 was cooler than I am at 37.
He's definitely cooler than I am at 40. And by the way, I didn't actually know this for a fact, but I was almost close. Ricky Morton's been wrestling since 1979. He was
Yeah,
Rick
that's about
Morton.
right.
He defeated the Beast in his
The
debut.
Beast.
The Beast. I'm looking to see when the Rock and Roll started teaming, and let's see, Ricky teamed with Ken
83?
Lucas. I mean, yeah, it looks like it might be a little later because honestly, I thought they would have been teaming a little earlier, but maybe not.
Robert teamed with his brother.
Yeah, we're gonna rock America. Um, so it looks like it would have been March 11th, 1983, and oh boy, their very first match as a team, they go down in defeat to the Galaxians, Galaxian 1 and Galaxian 2, who, in case you care, are Danny Davis and Ken Wayne.
The
Yes, that Danny
Nightmares
Davis. Yes.
in a different. Oh no, not that Danny Davis. The other Danny Davis.
The referee Danny Davis.
Well, it depends on which one is that Danny Davis.
Well, we're in Smoky Mountain, so when we talk about that Danny Davis, we mean Nitro Danny Davis / OVW Danny Davis.
Oh, I didn't know he had been on this show. Okay.
Yeah, he was here for the maybe the
Okay.
first year. Oh
Okay.
my God. Do you know when they do the does your JV club and whatnot want money? Bring in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. They literally showed Dixie Dynamite and Danny Davis running to the ring for a tag match.
Oh. Oh, is that I never noticed. Yeah, so yeah, I like people who don't know Tennessee wrestling. If you think Danny Davis, you think the referee, but we mean Nightmare Danny Davis, Nightmare Danny Davis, not Dangerous Danny Davis.
Although at this point, I think most people, wrestling fans, if you say Danny Davis, they would think of OVW Danny Davis, just because, like, I mean, Danny Davis, like, didn't he stop refereeing in like 1990? So it's like multiple generations have passed since Danny Davis
Yeah,
referee
but he
was a
was on
thing.
WrestleMania 3. So it was
True that.
like it kind of sticks in the mind. By the way, do you know Robert Gibson's real name?
It's not Robert Gibson.
It is not. His real name is Reuben Kane. And that's a
That is a
fucking cooler name than Robert Gibson.
yes, yes. That is a much better name than Robert Gibson. Coming to the ring now from Knoxville, Tennessee, Reuben Kane.
Oh, and Ricky's name is Rick Kane. That's a great name too.
Although Reuben Kane cutting that promo would not work out.
You know, I gotta say, I don't think that Robert Gibson is cool enough to be Reuben Kane.
No, poor Robert Gibson.
Like
He's
Ricky
cool
Morton
enough.
could be Reuben Kane.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Where the hell were we? Oh yeah. The Heavenly Bodies are now going to cut a promo. And it's I don't want to alarm you, but this Jim Cornette guy can cut a good promo.
Really? I'll be down.
Yeah. I know, right? Let's go to Jimmy right now.
Hey fans, here they are. Take a good look at them. You may not see these three around very long. You know,
You'd love that, wouldn't you, Cuddle, huh? You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Well, I think
you know what
I
I'd
think
like
I'd
to do?
probably like that.
I'd like to just take this tie off and I'd like to just hit you once, but I'm going to save it. I heard the Rock and Roll Express out here talking about if they don't win that match April 1st at the Bluegrass Brawl, they will sit down in the ring, take their boots off, and they'll quit wrestling because they reunited here and they will quit here. Well, I got news for you, Rock and Roll Express. That's exactly what you're going to do. Because you see, every major wrestling organization has contacted you, wanted you to wrestle for them, and you said no. Well, that's not exactly true. Because you see, when the Heavenly Bodies spread their dominance outside Smoky Mountain Wrestling, went to the WCW, beat everybody they had there, wasn't even hard. Went to the World Wrestling Federation, tackled the Steiner brothers, tackled all the top teams there, went all across the country. You got so jealous you couldn't stand it. So what did you do? You followed us. Like some kind of plague, like some kind of cancer. You followed us, dogged our footsteps, tried your best to take our spotlight away. And it's been that way through our whole history. Every time we got something going on, you couldn't stand it, and you had to try to take it away because you're jealous that the Heavenly Bodies and the Midnight Express before them have always been the greatest tag team in wrestling. So now you got this match signed, and you're starting to realize what it's going to mean. April 1st, Bluegrass Brawl, Pikeville, Kentucky, inside a steel cage. No way in, no way out. The best team has to win. Sure, we know how important this is, and sure, we're nervous. But I guarantee you this, Rock and Roll Express, your prophecy will come true. You're going to sit down in the middle of that ring on your hands and knees or on your big backsides. And you're going to take your boots off and you're going to take your tights off and we're going to make a little bonfire. And that outfit will be burned because there will be no more Rock and Roll Express one way or another. And this marathon match coming up during Golden Week, that's our perfect thing, because that's the perfect way for us to hurt one of you guys so bad that the other one's left all alone. So you can either go into that cage match in Pikeville all by yourself and lose, or you can forfeit and lose. Either way, we win.
I just want to say, Jimmy, Del Rey, and I have got together, Jim. We've talked about this match, too. We know how much it means to you, and we know how much it means to ourselves. And we're going on public record right now, our right hand to God. We are not going to leave Smoky Mountain Wrestling. We will walk out of the cage in Pikeville, the Smoky Mountain Tag Team Champions, and we will dominate Smoky Mountain for as long as we want to.
All right, fans, you heard it from the Jim Cornette, the Heavenly Body. All of that remains to be seen.
Okay. So God bless Jim Cornette. But he's trying. He's trying to come up with a reason why it makes sense that you, the fan, would give two shits about them having a week of Iron Man matches when they've already told you that 3 weeks later there's going to be a much bigger match with much bigger stiffs with the same two teams, regardless of what happens at Golden Week. But God bless Cornette for trying.
You feel like they didn't give them very much notice that they wanted the bodies full time, and they had to hurry this.
I mean, but they could have waited till the next TV taping. Because the next TV
Maybe
taping,
they couldn't have, or the bodies on the next taping.
I mean, they still got 2 weeks of TV before this match, the 19th and the 26th. So they could, I mean, I guess I might be rushing it a little bit, but like they could have had them announce the match next week, and then everyone cut promos for 2 weeks.
Okay.
I mean, I swear I don't like being pedantic and everything, but it's like I just
Oh
thought
yes,
that
you do. Oh
I
yes, you
really,
do like being this pedantic.
I really do. But still, I think it sounds ridiculous. And I made the joke to you earlier. It's like I challenge you to a loser leaves town match in a steel cage. But before we do that, we should have a week of Iron Man matches where we'll prove who the better wrestler is over the course of 1 hour.
Arya, they had an hour with no falls, so now they have to see who can get the most falls in an hour.
Trae, this isn't Gabe Kidd and ECE.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I know we're now. Jesus Christ, that was February. So I know we're 4 months past that, but it's like I
Hey,
watch it
hold
and I'm like,
on,
man,
hold on.
I'm holding.
Hey, yeah, sorry.
Do we need to
Can
press
you hear me?
pause?
Can I hear you
Yeah.
say something?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow. That's what my baby said. Meow, meow, meow. And my heart starts pumping. Gitchy, gitchy, goo now. Never gonna stop. Gitchy, gitchy, goo means that I love you.
Oh, that's
I'm
a
assuming.
very funny. Okay,
Yeah.
here's what had happened. I have my iPad right in front of me, and I got a notification from my Ring doorbell app, and I went to see what it was on, what it
Hmm.
was, and when it went to the feed, my multi-point Bluetooth headphones switched from my computer to my iPad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, so that Gabe Kid Tomohiro Ishii match, it was great, but it's like it gets Ishii in 2025 where it was like, okay, when it got to like the 15-minute mark, I'm like, okay, why is this match going so long? Not that it's a bad thing for them to have 30 minutes, but it's like, you know, Ishii is definitely the last generation of Smoky Mountain, of New Japan wrestlers. So I was not expecting it to go a 30-minute draw. Can you imagine
Yeah.
Ishii in Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Oh, that would have been fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. Look, these days, when it comes to New Japan booking in 2025, all I can say is that nobody should be booking the same territory for 15 years without a break.
Yeah. I am gonna say though that I am gonna try to watch the G1 this year.
Me
As
too.
it's been I guess it's been more than 10 years. It's been 12 years since watching the G1 ignited my love of Japanese pro wrestling in 2013. And I've definitely, as we've talked about on the show, I've definitely fallen out of love with modern day pro wrestling. So maybe the G1 this year will spark that interest. Um,
I feel
by
bad
the
when
way,
people say that
hmm,
because it's
that,
like I love
mhm.
wrestling so much. I just love it. I love it so much. I love it from all different times and places. And it makes me sad that somebody is just they're not getting what they want and they just, you know.
I I just I just this and I've mentioned this like I mean I've stopped regularly watching WWE a long time ago, which is hilarious because like we've mentioned I went to both WrestleMania and SummerSlam in the past year, but still it's like I can't sit here and watch a weekly episode of Raw, and at this point it's like AEW has been pissing me off with this Death Rider bullshit. And even if Hangman wins on Saturday and I'm not expecting him to, it's like I don't know. It's like it just this whole thing has just gone on way too fucking long. What about Hangman's promo last night? I
I
I
kind
just assume
of
Hangman cut a good promo last night on Dynamite. It's the go home
uh
show. I hope he fucking cut a promo.
they have announced an 8-man tag with Moxley, Claudio, and the Young Bucks against Hangman, Osprey, Shibata, and Hobbs. And what I am more excited about is they have announced for Thursday on Collision Mystico versus the Beast Mortos.
Hmm? And is that I mean assuming that's live on TV because
Yes,
otherwise it would air
yes,
after Y'all In.
yes. Collision is live on Thursday.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, all right. I'd say how the hell did we get to this? But it was we were talking about a 60-minute Iron Man match to a 30-minute Iron Man match. By
Yeah.
the way, when Dr. Tom kept saying we will do this and we will do that, I so wanted him to say we will rock America.
uh, so
Wait,
it is
notice
it
that
too much?
they they dropped the Jim Cornette thing with the Thrill Seekers.
Was there a Jim Cornette thing with the Thrill Seekers?
Well, a few weeks ago during the Heavenly Bodies promo, Caudle asked him what he thought about the Thrill Seekers, and it's like he was afraid to say anything.
Oh well, that doesn't mean they dropped it. Maybe they're gonna bring it up when the Thrill Seekers are actually on the show.
Next week, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
And what were we
Um,
gonna say?
so we have talked about before that there are certain things that are like sometimes the promoter is telling you that like, hey, this is the one. This is the one that you're gonna get what you want. And so it's like one of the things is like a baby face cannot guarantee to win and lose, right? Cannot. It'll ruin a baby face. But
Correct.
if a heel guarantees they're gonna win, it pretty much fucking tells you that they're losing, right?
Unless you're Bradshaw during that 2004 run where he would guarantee victory every month and then somehow win.
I hated that and came to love it.
I know exactly what you mean because it was like, especially when it became obvious he was holding the belt till WrestleMania, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's put Bradshaw in the most preposterous, ridiculous matches ever, and somehow still win.
I hated him winning the title from Eddie, but by the time they did the barbed wire cage match with the Big Show, I fucking loved that finish so
But
much.
greatest finish ever. I don't care
Yes.
what people say. He got chokeslammed through the ring and then crawled out.
Oh, amazing.
And it's like,
Oh, amazing.
and the WWE production crew, they had the fucking camera on Big Show the whole time. It was a tight shot on Big Show, and you could hear him walking down the steps, and then you hear Tony Chimmel announce, "Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and WWE champion, John Bradshaw Layfield." And everyone's like, "What are you smoking,
Oh,
Chimmel?"
I gotta go watch that again after this now.
Yes. I don't think the rest of the match was any good, just the finish.
That's all that matters.
Yes. And that's when they were still teasing that Batista might choose to wrestle Bradshaw at WrestleMania instead of Triple H. So they had Bradshaw running at the end.
Yeah,
That Bradshaw running at the end. They had
the
Batista running at the
Batista.
end.
Yeah,
Yes. Same thing.
more or
Uh,
less.
I was I mean, I guess everybody was, but I was disappointed in that Batista JBL feud just because like they both had weirdly really good matches with people that they may not have should have had really good matches with. So it's like, okay, JBL Batista, nice little hoss fight here. And nope, it sucks.
That Batista Undertaker WrestleMania match is almost a fucking Warrior Hogan level miracle.
I would not say that. They had because like Warrior Hogan had one good match. Batista and Undertaker had like a dozen good matches on pay-per-view. Okay, a dozen is pushing it, but at least
That was the first
five.
one though, right? That was the first
Yeah.
one though.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
way I felt about it at the time because it was the first one.
yeah. Okay. Oh my God. So, I forget if I told you this. But last Thursday, I did Thursday Night AMP on the site formerly known as angrymarks.com, where we do our biweekly ECW on TNN review from 1999. Well,
Uh-huh.
last week we had a fourth guest.
Oh.
And before the show began, Stevie was having some audio issues. And so we were just riffing for a bit, and he starts telling us his big opinion is that The Undertaker is the most overrated wrestler of all time and doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
That's
Like,
stupid.
and that's basically my thought is like, really? And I'm like, the most successful gimmick of all time, one of the most over gimmicks of all time, he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Like, and I'm like telling him, like, if you say that anybody who is less than The Undertaker also needs to be removed from the Hall of Fame, you are down to about 8 people in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, and a lot
And
of this, and everybody knows, and look, I am not gonna sit down with Mark Calloway and have a beer and discuss our worldviews. But to say that that motherfucker wasn't a great worker, wasn't like the most amazing Undertaker that any Undertaker could have been, you're fucking stupid.
by the way, William Huckabee is the man's name, in case you're
Well,
wondering. So then, and I thought about this because you brought up the Batista match. He says that the Undertaker streak was completely overrated, which I get. You know, there's a lot of crap in there. And then it says out of whatever it was, 26 matches he had at WrestleMania, only 7 of them belonged on WrestleMania, and the rest of them should have been on Raw the next night. And the 7 he mentions are the 3 Triple H matches, because of course, the 2 Shawn Michaels matches, the CM Punk match, and I hope you're sitting down for this, the Brock Lesnar match. Every other match should be on Raw. And I didn't even think about Edge when I got incredulous about it, or any of the other ones, or AJ Styles even. I got the, what about fucking Batista? And he's like, oh, that match fucking sucked. Yada, yada, yada. I'm like, what the hell are you watching?
it sounds like one of those people that watches wrestling with a fucking oh, what's a rubric.
Plus, plus, and, not saying ignoring the last 15 or so years when WWE has had a deep talent roster. I want you to go back to those, those WrestleManias from 7 through like 17 and rebook the card, but only of people who are more over than The Undertaker. And you're not getting very deep into that fucking card.
Can I drop a hot take here on the
This guy,
podcast?
we either need to have this guy on the show immediately or never talk to him again.
Look, if you watch professional wrestling and you approach it with the idea that I am going to watch this and find things to complain about, get another fucking hobby.
I'm with you there. Now, would one of those hobbies be going to the University of Cairo and raising a mummy from the dead?
Okay, look, I have been a DVH apologist on this here run. He said the single most disgusting thing that I have ever heard on a wrestling show during this promo.
Well, let's go to this promo, because if we're not thinking the same thing, I can't wait to see what you rank as the most disgusting thing ever said on the show.
All right, Dutch and right you are, fans. Here is Mr. Daryl Van Horn. We had talked about the mummy on several occasions, but now all of a sudden you sort of sneaked in on me that you may be looking for tag teams.
Well, I'm not worried about that right now, Bob. I want all of these Smoky Mountain scumbags out here in TV land to get their tongues out of their grandmother's mouth and stop felching the family dog. I have great news to share with you people. After months and months of being screwed around by that parliament of swine, the Smoky Mountain Board of Directors, I have finally secured a Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Championship match with Prince Terrace against that idiot champion. And you know, for months they tried to screw me around. They obviously had me confused with that parking lot Philatrix, the dirty white girl, because I don't bend over and grab my ankles for anybody. Prince Terrace is over 300 pounds, nearly 7 feet tall. He can't be stopped, Bob Caudle. He can't be hurt. This is the culmination of months of hard work. I made what you might call a Faustian pact at the University of Cairo to bring Prince Terrace back into the world and to make sure that he would be a champion. And I don't care if it means I have to spend eternity in the place where the guy with the horns and the pointed stick conducts his business. Prince Terrace will be the next Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Champion.
Fans, we'll be right back.
I bet Daryl Van Horn does not care if he spends eternity in the place with the guy with the pointy stick and the pitchfork.
Listener, listen to me right now. If you don't know, do not go to Urban Dictionary right now and look up felching.
You don't even need to go to Urban Dictionary. Do not Google that shit either.
No.
See, I thought I thought you might be offended by him calling a white girl a parking lot Philatrix.
Honestly, after, and it's funny because it's like the second sentence he fucking says, but at that line, my brain just shorted out, and I know nothing else that he said until we find out that Prince Terrace is getting a title shot.
Take your tongue out of your grandmother's mouth and stop felching the family dog. Oh Lord. Dear listener, I don't think we're allowed to explain what that is if you don't know what it is.
Okay, we explained what a Juicy Johnny was. Never mind. Let's move on.
Yes, to be fair, we did explain what a Juicy Johnny is. Oh Lord, poor Juicy Johnny. He's probably never going to be back on this show again, is he?
Man, if he was still around, he could have been the TV champion by now.
Indeed. So Prince Charmin is getting a title shot with the Dirty White Boy. Oh Lord,
Did we even talk about the Hornet and Killer Kyle match?
Oh no, I just skipped that. Killer Kyle beat the Hornet with a spine buster. Hornet didn't get in any offense.
I think Killer Kyle could have skipped that match and still won.
Yes.
Easiest
Oh,
$1,000 that Killer Kyle has ever made.
I just hope this means we're going to get to hear Killer Kyle's theme song again now, regularly on TV.
He has a theme song?
Yeah. Oh my God, he's got a
Awesome.
great theme song.
Hope you get to hear
Uh,
it.
when you're not looking up felching on Google, let's see here. And of course, I look up Killer Kyle theme song, and what comes up is Killer Kelly. And ain't nothing wrong with Killer Kelly, but that's that ain't who I'm talking about here. Let's see. I can hear it in my
Art,
head, but
what do
second.
what service do you use to listen to music?
Spotify.
Same.
Oh,
Okay, we need to collaborate. We need to make the music of Smoky Mountain Wrestling playlist.
you can actually do that thanks to ProWrestlingHistory.com. They have everyone's theme song, including Killer Kyle's theme song, Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs.
That sounds fantastic. It's based on the title.
Yes. 1 second here. Green onions, and it's plural of onions in case you weren't sure.
Of course. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's all I needed to hear.
Yep, it's a great song.
Okay, sometimes that
Uh,
happens a lot. Sometimes I don't know that like the name of a song belongs to the piece of music, but I know the piece of music because it's like that's been in fucking movie, like big movies, right?
I'm pretty sure it has, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I'm sure we talked about this at some point, when the Heresies were heels, their theme was the Immigrant Song
Yeah, we talked about
by
that.
Led
Yeah.
by Led
I
Zeppelin.
I kind of like it's like a recurring thing that unless you're the dirty white boy and you turn, you get a new song. And I really like that. I really like their babyface theme being George Thorogood, get a haircut and get a real job.
That is a great theme song, especially for the
Yeah.
Heresies. I forgot this at the time. Buddy Landell's original theme song on this show was "I'm Too Sexy."
Oh my God. Oh, crazy.
Yes.
Okay, I found out when I was on the YouTubes that apparently at some point he uses "Give Me Back My Bullets" by Leonard Skinner, which I didn't realize
Yep.
anybody had ever used in wrestling before the Briscoes.
Yeah. Oh, keep in mind that's after he turns babyface at the in like the last 10 episodes of Smoky Mountain. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
Ah,
You mean Smoky
that's
Mountain ends? We're not gonna be doing this for 20 years.
I mean, I was thinking about this earlier. We may need to start over just so you can watch the first year that you missed.
I really do. I really do need to go back and watch. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you're gonna try to watch the G1, we should do like a G1 update segment, but then that would just make the fucking podcast twice as long.
Plus, how often would you be behind on it? Which is
Okay,
mean of me. I'm sorry. Speaking of which,
okay,
did you finish Tanahashi Jam yet and move on to whatever the next show was?
I finished Tanahashi Jam. I watched the July 4th Tokyo Budokan show, and
Okay.
so the only thing I still have to watch is the July 6th Korakuen show.
Okay, it's been 2 weeks. What are your thoughts about ZSJ winning the IWGP title?
Okay, here's the thing. I understand people are upset about it, and I understand why. And I was really, really big on the Goto Miracle Run. I don't know what the plan was, but I had convinced myself that, and when I lay this out, you will say, "Yeah, that's a Gato story." I thought that Zack winning the title in Nagoya was essentially so he could carry it and defend it at Forbidden Door in London, Meanwhile, Goto would win the G1 and then come back and beat Zach in a rubber match.
Well, that may have been the plan.
And yet,
yeah.
The G and G1 will not stand for Goto this year.
No. And I'm still waiting for Hirooki Goto to come up with a finisher where he picks up a guy in a fireman's carry and then gives him a knee lift and call it the Goto sleep.
You know, if only.
Wow.
If only you thought
I'm
of that.
not even gonna pop you on that one. Okay.
That was
that was bad.
no, it wasn't that bad.
Okay. Oh, let's go to oh my God, a promo segment with Bullet Bob Armstrong and then Dickie Murdoch. And Dickie Murdoch is running out of things to say. Let's go to that right now.
Golden Week is here. We've talked and talked and talked, and now the Golden Week itself is here, and I am so happy because I have got some hog killing to do. Hornet went out and got himself old Porky Pig, himself Captain Redneck, that guy that's got a gut out to here that looks like Porky Pig. Well, I'll tell you something. In all this Smoky Mountain towns, I got something to prove. I owe you. You done a lot to me, you done a lot to my friend the Bullet. So what I need to do about that yapping mouth of yours, you always got it open saying something. Well, I'll catch you with it open, stick that apple in your mouth, I'll skewer it down your throat, and I'll roast you, brother. And as far as you, Dick Murdoch, you look like you've eaten a pound or two of pork yourself. Well, eat this, brother, because Golden Week is here, and y'all both gonna have all you can handle with bad to the bone, man. I'll tell you what, my friend the Bullet, he left me some clues on how to deal with you, Cornette. And also you, Captain Redneck. So this time, Golden Week 94, we're going to get the job done. They said, you can be commissioner, Bullet Bob, and once in a while you can wrestle. Well, Golden Week is that once in a while. If I can just get this done, that's all I need to do. And from now on, brother, when you see me, you will cross the street and walk on the other side. Golden Week 94, we all going to be bad to the bone.
I enjoy whipping people. See, I enjoy beating up people thoroughly. And I really enjoy it when you get paid for it. And you see Mama Cornette has really sweetened the pot. See, Armstrong, I think little Jimmy boy is getting too early. I think he's starting to sweat. I think he's starting to get nervous. So my ante keeps going up. But I'm going to tell you something, Jimmy. Don't get nervous. Sleep. Because I promised your mother that Armstrong would not ruffle your feathers. You see, when you hire me, it's like hiring a fox guarding a hen house. As long as everybody's watching, that hen house is safe. But as soon as you turn your back, I'm going to get a chicken. Hey, Armstrong, you are the biggest chicken that I know, and I'm going to get a leg of you. I'm going to get a thigh of you. I might even get a little bit of wing. So you see, Armstrong, you're the one that needs to start sweating. You're the one that can't sleep at night. You're the one that's got the illegitimate kid that shot all the Iraqis when they surrendered in the Desert Storm. You're the one that gave the United States Marine Corps a bad name. You and your kids. You see, Armstrong, if your kid would have joined about 6 years later than what he did, he would have fit right in to what President Clinton is letting in a military service now. You know what I mean, Armstrong? Your kid would have fit the bill. So let me tell you something. Can I insult you anymore? Go home and kiss your fat, ugly, stinking wife. The one with the big fat lips. You know what I'm talking about, Armstrong? The one that looks like Dusty Rhodes with gray hair. Kiss her. That's how fat she is. So you get ready. I'm spending the money. I'll see you.
Well, it's
All right. Speaking of promos that wouldn't fly in 2025, Road Dogg, if he was in the military now, would be gay. And
that's like that's like he's just casually accusing Road Dogg of like war crimes, like violating the Geneva Conventions.
didn't he accuse Road Dogg of being a deserter too, like in a previous promo?
How is that worse? How is that worse than claiming that someone murdered unarmed prisoners?
I'm not saying that's worse. I'm saying those two seem to be mutually exclusive. where you could either be a deserter
Uh,
or be committing war crimes.
well, you can commit war crimes and then desert.
I guess Road Dogg has a dark secret, I guess. Um, and Bullet Bob. Okay, I wrote this down the first time, and I'm like, no, he didn't say that. I got it backwards. And no, I re-listened to this promo. He basically said he was going to roast Dick Murdoch like a succulent pig, but I'm pretty sure he meant Jim Cornette. Because he started talking about
Well,
how Dickie Murdoch reminds him of Porky Pig. That's all, folks.
well, I mean, he like I see the resemblance.
Between Dick Murdoch and Porky Pig.
Like I see what he's going for. Murdoch's kind of swollen and pink.
Well, he also said that the bullet has told him how to beat Murdoch. I'd like to know how he did that since Murdoch beat the bullet.
I am curious as to what tips the Bullet had for dealing with Cornette.
Also, do you realize that Bluegrass Brawl is going to be the third straight major Smoky Mountain show with a cage match? Because Sunday Bloody Sunday had the Harris's and the Moondogs. This
Yeah,
has Dickie Murdoch and Jimmy Cornette versus uh, Bobby Armstrong. And then we're going to have the Rock and Roll Express versus the Heavenly Bodies. We might as well just have had lockdown here.
I think it's gonna be that
I guess
shitty chicken wire cage for all of them.
now is Smoky Mountain's chicken wire cage better or worse than TNA's chicken wire cage at that time? Do you remember?
Uh,
Do you remember TNA's
Kinda.
shitty cage? It was when they were doing the lockdown with the Team 3 LAX electrified cage match. So
Oh
instead of using
yeah,
the real cage or the regular cage they had like this monstrosity made out of wood and wire. And yeah,
yeah.
that was still one shitty ass electric cage match. All right. So then we got our main event. By the way, did your copy of this show not have any of the local promos or anything in it?
I didn't realize it until you said so, but no, it didn't.
Yeah, because it was only 44 minutes long, and yeah, that's what's missing.
Yeah.
Um, so we get our main event, which is Timothy Well and Stephen Dunn. They are the team of Well Dunn, versus the Rock and Roll Express. And the first thing I wrote here is Bob Caudle is a liar. He says that more matches are announced every day for the Bluegrass Brawl. Well, first of all, since last week, a grand total of one match has been announced for the Bluegrass Brawl, and two, there will not be between 20 and 27 matches on the Bluegrass Brawl, which is how
That's
many you'd
almost as
get if you announced at least one new match.
that's almost as many as an AEW pay-per-view.
I know. Oh my God, when I was at Forbidden Door last year with Osprey versus Swerve? I'm that person. I get everywhere early, so I'm in my seat early, fully
Me
expecting
too.
to
Yeah.
wait for a while. And then they send out Kyle Fletcher and oh my God, who the hell did he wrestle? Was it Serpentico? At like
Maybe.
6:45 at like 6:45 Eastern in front of like a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
It was almost as bad as that WrestleMania at AT&T Stadium where they sent Kalisto and the Ryback out at 5:30, and there were like no lie, like 2,000 people sitting in their seats for that match.
I was not to my seat yet. I was watching it on the monitors walking through the concourse.
I was in my seat. I was. If you told me I was the only person in all of the 400 sections to be in their seat for that match, I'd believe you.
Lemma. By the way, apparently, 0 hour starts at noon local time, which that's probably like there won't be matches until at least 12:30 and probably not till after 1.
Yeah. Because doesn't the show start at 2 o'clock your time?
Yes.
Now I have to look up the fucking schedule. So is Evolution on Saturday night or Sunday night?
I think Saturday night is Saturday night's main event and Sunday is Evolution.
Isn't there an NXT show in there somewhere too?
Maybe?
Isn't there a show head to head with y'all in? Like
Maybe.
literally head to head.
Let me see what I can see here. I'll search for WWE on Cage Match. Yes, World Wrestling Entertainment.
World
Event.
Wrestling. Ha ha ha. Ha. Entertainment.
Ha ha ha. What's today? The 8th.
Yep. So we're looking at the 11th,
Great American Bash
12th.
at Center Stage.
I hear they haven't even sold out center stage yet.
With
Which-
Obafemi defending the NXT title against Pro Wrestling Noah's Yoshiki Inamura.
Interesting. That
That'd probably
Forbidden
be good.
Door is pro wrestling is really weird in 2025. You know that?
It really is. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
So the Rock and Roll Express got in and out behind the referee's back, breaking the rules, by the way. It built to a spot which was kind of funny, where Gibson distracted the referee while Dunn actually had legally tagged out, but the referee did not see it, so he ran over and stopped Mr. Well from getting in the match. Jim Cornette came to ringside and tripped Morton, so Well Dunn could shockingly get the heat on Morton. And the finish saw Morton tangled up with Cornette and the referee, while Well Dunn got the racket, and Dunn accidentally hit Mr. Well with Jim Cornette's tennis racket, giving the Rock and Roll Express the win in a perfectly all right, fun main event.
Dunn did not do well, and as a result, Well was done.
Well, after the match, Mr. Dunn was upset with Jim Cornette. And I don't know why he was upset with Mr. Cornette, because Mr. Cornette did not hit him with a tennis racket. Mr. Dunn hit Mr. Well with it. Mr. Cornette had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
All right. So we had like 30 seconds left on the show, so Ricky Morton went to Bob Caudle to cut a show closing promo.
Well, it backfired on Jim Cornette that time, but Ricky, we said you guys might be really taking a chance to take on a team like this.
Let me tell you one thing, Bob Caudle. You see Jimmy Cornette come out here and stuck his nose where it did belong and caused Well Dunn to lose their match. But when this match is over at Pikeville Bluegrass Brawl, we can all wave good goodbye to the heavenly bodies. We can all wave, because we can say goodbye to the heavenly bodies. But rock and roll, we're here to stay. All right.
Rock and Roll Express fans, that's going to wrap it up for this.
I assume that they're now here to play, because Ricky Morton has not said that on the show in a while.
No word on if they are here to play or not. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yep. I'll tell you what, I don't know if they're going to be at StarCast this weekend. Maybe you can meet them and find out for us.
Yeah, if I remember.
I can't imagine why you wouldn't remember. What else would you have to say to them?
I already
Ricky,
don't remember what we're talking about.
Hey Ricky, how did you
ask
get out of
Ricky.
Matt Hardy's? How did you get out of Matt Hardy's cherry picker that time on Impact?
I thought you were going to say out of Matt Hardy's basement. I didn't know where that was going.
Why would he have been in Matt Hardy's basement?
I don't know, because I forgot about the cherry picker thing, so I had no idea where you were going with that.
Hey, it'd be easy if Matt Hardy lived at the Alamo, because there's no basement in the Alamo. Please tell me you got that reference.
I guess not.
From Pee-wee's Big Adventure, when the fortune teller told him that his bike was at the Alamo in the basement. So he goes to the Alamo, he gets the tour, and he's like, "When are we going to see the basement?" And the one's like, "There's no basement in the Alamo." And everyone laughs at poor Pee Wee because there's no basement in the Alamo.
If I have ever seen that movie, it's been over 30 years.
Wow. If you type in, "is there a basement?" the next words Google recommends is "in the Alamo." Um, and according to Google, it does in fact say that the iconic Alamo Church does not have a basement.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I've been, but I didn't. It didn't occur to me to look and see if there was a basement.
See, what good are you?
It's
you don't ask all the important questions.
Yeah.
We could
Not
have
everybody
Ricky.
knows this. Not everybody knows this. When you move to Texas from out of state, the state government actually sends you a little thing and gives you a date and time that you have to go make a pilgrimage to the Alamo. It's state law.
Are you serious?
No, that's fucking stupid, Arya. Obviously, I'm not serious.
Well, it, it sounds more believable than you moved there and they gave you a giant cowboy hat.
I kind of wish that I had a giant cowboy hat now because I'm a little, I didn't really start thinking about it until today that, that roof might be open on Saturday.
Hey, wait. Time out. You just thought about this today? I literally brought it up on the show we taped yesterday.
Maybe that's why I thought about it today.
Oh, Lord. This is why no one listens to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even listen to it while I'm doing it.
No, no, we don't. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Lordy, Lordy, look who's 40. 111 down, 89 to go. And I don't know about you. Maybe it's because I don't know. I was kind of tired while watching this, and I was like, man, I thought this was a little bit of a lackluster episode of Smoky Mountain this week. Better than world class, but I mean, on the Smoky Mountain scale of good and bad, this was closer to a bad show than a good show.
I If the standard is like the best shows, it's closer to a bad show. I thought this was like an average show. There was not like the rock and roll the main event was okay. They didn't have like a whole lot of time. Other than that, there wasn't any wrestling worth like commenting on, but there were some good promos.
We literally skipped an entire match at one point. Oh, Lord, there are
I
three
just said
matches
the
on this
wrestling
show.
was the wrestling was unremarkable.
There are three matches on this show, and we skipped 33% of them.
Well, to be
Oh,
fair, that match went a minute and 35 seconds.
if we had a 1997 Goldberg match that went a minute 35 seconds, we'd be talking about it in great detail. But
Man,
Killer Kyle,
how did
even with the
Killer
bald head,
Kyle they
go
should have
ahead.
brought Killer Kyle in to do like Goldberg duty one time. That would have been great.
Do we have proof that he didn't? I mean, Goldberg had a lot of random ass matches on Saturday Night and Thunder and Worldwide. One of them could have
I'm
been
not
against Mark Kyle.
okay.
I'm not being an asshole. I'm saying this literally. Killer Kyle did WCW job duty. So it is
That's
very
not no
possible that he
that's
did a
not the
Goldberg squash.
that's not the issue.
Okay, what's the issue?
Evidence that something doesn't exist.
That's not what I'm saying. Is like we don't like I'm not sitting here with Goldberg's cage match profile open saying, okay, did he wrestle Mark Kyle? And but just based on the fact that Mark Kyle was a WCW enhancement talent at different points, and based on the fact that Goldberg was squashing random people on all of WCW's C and D shows at the time, or not at the time, but in like 97, 98, it is possible that Goldberg beat Mark Kyle at some point. That's literally all I'm
I,
saying. Like,
right, but I'm saying I think we could prove if he did or not.
okay, well, are you even looking? Because I can tell you I'm sitting here
I
ranting.
don't
I have not.
care. That's not the. It's not about the thing that we're arguing about. Honestly, it really isn't.
All right, so All Japan Women, what else is happening this week in wrestling? All Japan Women is allegedly going to offer disgraced figure skater Tanya Harding $2 million to wrestle for All Japan Women.
Oh my god. Oh, who would she have wrestled?
I don't know. But like, why do I feel
Oh,
like she did wrestle at some point? Well, she went to AAA, I guess, but I don't think she wrestled. She was managing Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr.
did she really?
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
let
I
me,
didn't know that.
let me see here. Yeah, on according to the always reliable Wikipedia, on June 22nd, 1994, in Portland, Oregon. Really? In Portland, Oregon? Harding appeared on a AAA professional wrestling show as the manager for the wrestling stable Los Gringos Locos. A promotional musical event was
Ah,
unsuccessful when Harding and her band, the Golden Blades, were booed off the stage at their only performance in 1995 in Portland. Did she fucking live
I
in Portland or something?
no, I bet it was Portland because Sandy
No, she was
Bar.
born in she was born in Portland. So,
Right, I
okay.
bet AAA ran in Portland because there was a connection with because wasn't Sandy Bar a promoter in like Portland?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, Nancy Kerrigan was a fucking hottie. Just saying.
I would have to Google. In fact, I will Google Nancy
Kerrigan.
Kerrigan. Okay, yeah. What's Tanya Harding?
Nancy Kerrigan was born in Stoneham, Massachusetts, so go Massachusetts.
Yeah, okay. Well, of the two, I would say Nancy Kerrigan if I had to pick one.
All right. UFC
Okay,
2
Arya.
happened this week. Hoist Gracie was the winner of UFC 2, which was the first time and the last time they did a 16-man tournament. And it was also the debut of Big John McCarthy, who would go on to referee for UFC for like 15 years.
All right,
Um,
Arya. Fuck Mary
yes, Trae.
Kill. Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding, the Dirty White Girl.
Kill White Girl, fuck Tanya Harding, and marry Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, that makes sense for you.
What about you? What would you do?
Let's see. Marry the Dirty White Girl, fuck Nancy Kerrigan, kill Tanya Harding.
See, I'm a little surprised you would marry the white girl. Like, does she really scream marriage material? I'm not talking about like the real person
She's
behind the dirty white girl. I'm talking about the dirty white girl, the character dirty white girl.
Oh, as long as you ain't fucking around, she'll be the most loyal brat in the trailer park.
Okay. What happens though if you try to take her out of the trailer park? Try to move her to her house across the street and four doors down.
Look, you can take the dirty white girl out of the trailer park, but you can't take the trailer park out of the dirty white girl.
All right. And then, because I'll be honest, skimming through the Observer, nothing was really jumping out to me. So, one piece of news that does affect us, Dutch Mantel has been hired to be the new booker for the World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico.
Ah,
Yeah.
So, does that mean Savio Vega is going to come and do commentary?
Oh my God. After listening to Cornette talk about Savio in the production truck and TNA, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. Oh, Savio was in the WWF at this point as Quang.
Was he? Was he Quang by now?
Yeah. Yeah, because he was in the
Okay, wow.
94 Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was one of the 7 people that Diesel eliminated
Oh, how
during
about that?
During Diesel's breakout appearance. His first move, I think, was to miss Rick Steiner. So good
Well,
for
who
Quang.
among us has not wanted to miss Rick Steiner?
I don't know, but probably everybody
By the
has
way,
at some point.
I checked yesterday just because I had not checked in a while. Braun Breaker still the linear AEW World Champion.
Say, I am assuming his stable with Seth Franklin Rollins and Paul Heyman is going well.
I have seen nothing of it. I just looked at Cage Match to see if he had lost any singles matches.
I can just tell you that Seth Rollins is the Money in the Bank contract holder, and that's about it.
What year is it? It was fucking 11 years ago. Jesus.
It was also a few weeks ago when he won it again.
Okay, you got me there.
Yeah, him and Naomi won the Money in the Bank ladder matches.
No, okay, that is clearly like Jade Cargill wins the title at SummerSlam and then Naomi immediately takes it from her, right?
That's what a lot of people are thinking, or they could do the failed cash in on Jane Cargill.
Because they're doing a singles match at Evolution, right?
Yes.
So I
And
bet that Jade wins, but then they come back and do that to set it up because that's the way that they book. They just do shit and nothing really matters.
well, as we know, evolution is a mystery.
Full of change that no one sees.
Do you think, because I mean, Lemmy never came on TV to try to sing that song. Do you think he knew the lyrics to that one?
Did he know the lyrics to the one that he came on TV to sing?
No.
Well, there you go.
I am the game and I want steak. I am the game and I want to
Hey. Let's
Oh,
hear. Let's
R.I.P.
see. Tony
Lemmy.
Khan was asked about where Britt Baker is, and by the way, yeah, I'm no longer sad that I don't get invited to these pre-show press conferences anymore. But yeah, because Tony Khan was asked about Britt Baker, and his answer was they have a lot of talent on the bench, for both men and women.
Did he get a press pass for Supercard of Honor somehow? Tell him I'm with Something Else podcast.
Mm. Are you even remotely affiliated with the Observer? I'd say go with that.
Not really.
Um, so apparently, and I could just be reading this incorrectly, the Continental and International titles are not being retired and merged.
Uh,
Somehow they are creating a new unified title.
I'm guessing this is the same situation as the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles being merged into the World Heavyweight title.
So you think they're going to call it the Contranational title?
No, I think they're going to call it the Unified title, which is a terrible fucking name. The Continental title should never have existed.
No. It was done because TK wanted to do the American Triple Crown for a
Yeah.
while, and then he got his chance, and then I don't want
Okay.
to say he got bored. I don't want to say Tony Khan got bored of it quickly, but he then realized he'd rather put the belt on Okada, and then it's like, okay, let's just make everything
I
go its own
guess
way.
I guess it was worth it just for that picture of Eddie with the 3 belts, like the famous Kawada Triple Crown belt picture.
All right, so that is our preview of Y'all In, everybody. Watch Y'all In this Saturday. Or don't. Do whatever the hell you want. But
And if you see me, say hi.
yep. And if you see me, that means you're in Vermont, not Texas. But still say hi.
I
All
imagine
right.
if somebody imagine if somebody wanted to go to Y'all In, but just through a comedy of errors, they ended up wherever you're going in Vermont.
If I go to Vermont and there's a single fucking person there who recognizes me from whatever the hell it is I do with pro wrestling, I'm gonna take the Triple H selfie with them.
Tremendous. Well, have a good trip.
I will. You too. I watch a lot of wrestling. I'm surprised you can't find a ticket to Super Card of Honor. I'm
I
really surprised by that.
I think they are very limited, and the people that have them aren't interested in selling them.
That's possible. I'll keep my eye out if I see anything, but I don't expect to.
I
But
also can't afford inexpensive anything, so yeah.
inexpensive anything you say.
Anything expensive, I can't afford it.
So no expensive coffee even?
I don't really like coffee, so that's not a problem.
That's good. I don't like coffee either, and I always make my coworkers' head explode in the morning when they're like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go drink my big ass coffee or whatever," and I'm like, I don't drink coffee at all. I just wake
Okay,
up and this is how I am.
well, people just they associate it with like they power through how gross it tastes because of the effects of the caffeine. And what I didn't realize until I was grown is that I have the kind of ADHD that caffeine does nothing for me. So it like coffee never did anything for me.
Yeah. By the way, if you ever want to hear Joey Legend doing a bad Vince Russo impression and then Vince Russo doing a bad Jeff Jarrett impression, watch the TNA show Cindy and I did yesterday.
That sounds
It
hilarious.
was Yes, Joey Legend's Vince Russo impression was so bad, I didn't realize at first he was doing a Vince Russo impression. I just thought he was
Bro.
doing a New York accent. But yes, Joey Legend and
Uh,
Vince Russo did a parody of Vince Russo and Jeff Jarrett.
we've been talking about Just Joe a lot lately. He's having a moment.
Hey, just Joe, he was tremendous.
Yeah.
All right. So that's gonna do it for this week's show. We're not gonna spend 25 minutes talking about just Joe. Oh, talk about spending 25 minutes talking about random WWF mid-carders from 2000 is a one-time only thing. And you people lost your chance yesterday for that. But thank you all for listening. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and we'll talk to you again in 7 days.
Bye.